Hey everyone, welcome to Anti-Riggers United. Today we have an AMA with Coin Official. So let's get started by having the team introduce themselves. Tell us about yourself, about your experience, both professional and in crypto. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the intro, and thanks for having us here. So a little bit about myself. My name's Logan, a full-time data engineer. I got into crypto about 3 to 4 years ago, starting with just helping build websites for small market cap tokens. And it's really kind of taken off from there as they start asking for more help. And then pretty soon I was building Tokenomics and helping with marketing and development and just kind of assisting projects from start to finish. And then that's kind of where, myself and the rest of the team really kind of came together and combined and started this kind of project you see here today. A big passion of mine is bringing transparency to the market as a consultant over the last few years. One of my biggest pet peeves is all of the kind of price gouging, manipulation, bots and click farms and everything that goes on the back end that, your traditional investor doesn't get to see every day. So hopefully we can shed more light on that system, and that's exactly why we helped build Coin Official. I'll pass it on to Trey.
Yeah, sure. So can you guys hear me, hopefully? So my name's Trey, also go by Nova. That's what pretty much everybody calls me. I've been in the crypto space since 2015. My day job, I ran a technology sales department, SaaS sales, for a $9 billion company. So I've been in this space, business development. We talk about like the real world. Now I'm a business development manager for a larger company. Crypto, I have been a consultant for the last 2 years, pretty much primarily a marketing consultant, building custom AMA tours, marketing plans, helping projects raise funds through various aspects. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. And now I've gotten together with these guys. Do we have Brandon here, Logan?
Possibly. He's a little shy. So we're going to move over to Brandon. He is our blockchain developer. He is a bachelor's in computer science. I kind of consider him the overall nerd of the herd, right? He really kind of helps keep our backend system functioning, helps build our smart contracts that we recently deployed for our project, of course, and then also a previous project, ZA, that we just completed through Surtech. But we've been super blessed to have him. And then next would be Faisal, and he's kind of our jack of all trades. He's also another Solidity developer. He's done a ton of stuff in like Bitcoin mining and so forth. But maybe if you want to swap over to his page.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No problem. But he has been super passionate about crypto the last few years, and that's where he's really helped develop a lot of our systems and, working as Solidity to kind of bring everything where we are today. But great. Well, let's just jump into the project, unless you had any questions so far.
Yeah, I have questions. More questions for the team. So how do you guys know each other? Do you guys know each other from real life or friends, or did you meet on like a previous project you invested in?
Yeah, so I've actually known Brandon for about 10 years, and then I worked at the same company as Trey did for a few years there. And so, we're all super close. We live pretty close together too, so we're always just a few minute drive away. And then Faisal, we actually met on an older project, and he's really kind of just jumped in with us and been working with us for a few years as we've kind of been consulting and assisting other projects.
Okay, but you guys did not have any, or you were not core members of any previous projects? Like core
No,
team
I'd
member?
say we're really more of just consultants or helpers. At least I speak for myself in that way, where again, I'll help them build a website, but I wouldn't even be close to considered a core member. And we kind of just paid the assist, help, maybe give some advisement. I would say ZA would be our closest to what we're doing in terms of like incubation services, and that's kind of like a DeFi, the gift card platform that we launched, I think, like maybe a week or two ago. I would say that would be the closest one for anything like that.
Okay, so what area are you guys from?
I'm in Central United States.
But you guys are all, you said like a lot of you live close by, so like
so yeah, you just narrowed down 3 of us to the Central U.S. Faisal would be in South Africa, so he'd be our other counterpart from across the globe.
Okay, so USA team, that's good. And moving on to the KYC and docs, we discussed this a little bit previously. So you guys are have the KYC completed, right? As of now, it looks like on GemPad for your pre-sale, you have the KYC badge. It's
Yes,
on.
100% KYC plus through the Assure network.
Seems to me the KYC link on GemPad is not working yet.
Yeah, so we're currently in
progress, I guess.
talks with getting that set up. It was set up like I believe yesterday afternoon, so we'll have to talk to them and get that completed. But I'm sure you could reach out to the GemPad team and get verification.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. And who's KYC'd?
Every one of us.
Everyone. Yep.
So all 4, 5?
All 4.
I'm trying to remember. All 4. Okay. So 4 of you guys did the KYC, so that's better than just the minimum, because I think, I don't know, like PinkSale requires like 2, I think. GemPad, not sure. So the fact that you all did it, not just, the minimum amount, which is great, because a lot of projects, they want to get a KYC badge, and they either just get one person or whatever the minimum, or they hire someone outside the project to do the KYC, or with fake documents, so.
That's a great point. Yeah, we're really here all in. That's kind of where, actually Assure just created an article and posted it, I think yesterday, where it kind of details how PinkSale's ecosystem and their KYCs are incredibly lacking, right? You can just go on, do a live stream, they ask you, like, are you the project owner? You go, sure, you have a blurry camera, you hold up a blurry ID, and then you're done. Right, so this is where our KYC is super in depth. We basically had to do an hour-long interview. They do check our social profiles, check everything at who we are, where we live, down to our street address. So you really got some good assurance there. But of course, I would never say that just because a project's KYC, they're a good project.
Well, of course, that's the reason why many people do the fake KYC, because they think that investors, it's almost like there's a higher chance of scam is if it's like KYC on specific launch pads, at least where it's easy to get KYC. I'm not gonna get into that too much, but anyways, moving on. So the whole team's KYC'd. You guys basically know each other real life. That's great. So it's not just some anonymous guys that met up, but hey, let's go make a project, and the fact that you know each other and have a real professional work experience. That's really all good checks. So I think we could finally move on to the project itself. You guys want to do a presentation, run through the pitch deck, whatever you want to do?
Yeah, I kind of like to start out and just kind of share everything we're kind of creating and how CoinOfficial is, really decentralizing the voting sphere. And, Trey, if you want to move to the next slide, kind of showcase everything we're building. So you're going to see a lot of different things we're building out here. Everything is going to be live on December 5th for our pre-sale. We're not one of those projects where, we're going to be developing over the next year or two. We've already been working on this for a year and a half. And we're going to get into all these details and everything we're creating here really soon. But to kind of jump into really what we're about and one of our core principles is the coin voting site and really how we're decentralizing that voting system. So now you can look at the blockchain and see, how people and how projects are voting on, whether it's an article, a token, an influencer, and really breaking down and showing more transparency behind, that project with their marketing and how everything in the public sentiment is. Typically an investor would look at like CoinSniper, CoinMooner, CoinVote, Fresh Coins, and these are just blatantly manipulated websites where people or devs, even you kind of mentioned like a fake person does a KYC, they get $50 to CoinSniper, they get thousands of votes, and it looks like there's a huge active community around that project. But turns out, of course, it's just bribery and manipulation behind the scenes, and investors can only get burned so many times before they just give up and they move on. And so really what we're doing is showing all the analytics and the voting systems behind these projects so that you can really track and see what a project's potential is and everything they can do. But Trey, if you want to take over, if there's any questions so far, Bora.
No, you guys can come on.
Perfect. Yeah, I can definitely go over. So this is just a comparison of our direct competitors. Our direct competitors would be Watcher Guru, Fresh Coins, CoinSniper, CoinMooner. You can just see here the additional services that we provide as a service comparative to our direct competitors. We have like 80 or 90 other competitors, really, smaller coin voting sites that are profiting around anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 a year. These are our direct competitors. CoinMooner is on average, I believe, a little over $500,000 a year. CoinSniper is almost $1 million a year. Same thing with Fresh Coins. And Whale Watcher Guru makes a minimum of almost $3 million a year from wallets that we've tracked. So gigantic place or market for us to hit. And if we're profiting $1 million a year, that's $1 million of buying pressure on our token itself. Token creation pool, staking creation pool, on-chain voting. We have an influencer marketplace. It's all Web3 based instead of Web2, so we can't just change the numbers for you. Our token is called Vote. It is a vote. So I kind of wanted to show you as well it's on a different service, but this is our services to kind of actually explain what we do here. So again, you have to utilize our token to upvote projects, but we also have our influencer marketplace as well. So a project that's listed on our platform will be able to go buy marketing from any of our marketer or any of our influencer partners that are listed on our platform as vetted partners. They're going to be able to buy AMAs, calls. It's an automatic process, so the money gets sent to the AMA or the lounge, and we get a commission off the top, and then we utilize a part of that commission as a buyback and burn onto the token, again, to create buying pressure without selling pressure onto the token. Any questions over like the influencer marketplace at all?
No, not yet.
Perfect. We have our portfolio tracker as well. This is more or less just a sticky service to get people on the platform itself. So as you're buying projects on our platform, if you buy a project, you can track it inside the portfolio tracker as well. This is going to get renamed to account management because you can also track what staking pools you have access to. If you're collecting staking pools on certain tokens, tokens that you favorited, tokens that maybe you've upvoted, you'd be able to manage that all here on the account management tab. The token page, go ahead.
Was the previous one, the tracker, is that one done?
Everything that you see here today is done, by the way.
Okay, so it's all done. Okay, perfect.
Yep. The whole platform will be live on launch. Our pre-sale December 5th. We'll launch on the 8th, I believe. So the 8th, everything it's done. It's done right now.
So it's not live yet, but have you guys had the community like beta test?
So I don't know if Logan, if you want to jump in there.
Yeah, we've privately tested it with some influencers and other people kind of around the ecosystem. Again, just kind of privately. We do want to open it up to early beta testers, probably maybe towards Sunday or Monday, just so we can kind of get some feedback and looking around. But we've been testing and working on it for quite a while.
Okay, one thing I wanted to ask also. I remember the website, like the link right now, the link tree, it has the pitch deck and the website. The website doesn't have anything on there, but I remember at least private sale or seed sale around that time, you guys did have the website. So is there like a strategy that you basically using, like you took it down kind of like some for hype? Because I swear I thought I seen the website up earlier.
You probably have. We did take it down. We just didn't want people poking around a lot when we're kind of really populating all the information and filling in influencer information as we kind of onboard partners. We kind of want it to be a really hyped up launch, release, everyone kind of funnels in and it's good to go. Now, of course, I still really do like the idea of having some beta testers from the community jump in early, maybe people that have been around and following the ecosystem for quite a while. But of course, we've already been showing it to private influencers and stuff like that to kind of get their feedback and take on it.
Okay, all right. You guys can move on.
Perfect. The token page, again, you're going to be able to upvote the tokens here. To list the token, it's 100 vote, which is our token, 100 vote to list. That's approximately $2 on launch. If the price goes up, it's going to be more expensive to list on the platform. If the price goes down, it's going to be less than $1 to list on the platform. So again, the reason why we do this is for transparency. We want projects that are going to buy votes anyway to buy them on our platform instead. It's transparent. And the investors get that buying pressure as well. Not to mention, you can buy and sell the token from here as well, from PancakeSwap or Uniswap. And any project that lists on our platform can automatically create a staking pool for their project via our staking pool creation token. So 0.2 BNB, the prices are probably going to go up maybe in the future, but we want to be extremely competitive. Nobody's that cheap to create a staking pool, and then 1% of whatever they have staked. So again, extremely minimal cost to create a staking pool. And your community can now start locking up tokens, taking selling pressure off of their project as well. And yet again, they're going to be on our platform because that's where they're going to go and collect their rewards from the staking pool. This is the news page as well. So most coin building websites are going to throw up tons of banner ads at you, pop-ups. We don't do that. It's all educational articles about projects. They have to purchase these, and then they can, again, upvote these as well with our token vote. Same thing with the influencer marketplace. I forgot to mention, you can upload or upvote influencers as well utilizing our token. Just know that if they buy a press release, again, any revenue that Coin Official makes, it's a revenue-based company, we send a portion of that to buy back and burn the token. Automated marketing that just shows, hey, everything's an automatic checkout process tool. There's no like, you have to talk to me on Telegram. I give you a wallet address. You send the money to an influencer. That's not how it works. Project owner will just come on here, send the money directly through the automatic, the automated checkout process. You would get, like, if Anti-Ruggers had an AMA on there and it was sold, we'd get a commission off the top. That part would get sent to us directly. The rest of the money gets sent to you. And then the project owner is prompted to fill out a Google form for yourself for Anti-Ruggers. And then we have a referral system. So we understand the power of word of mouth. Anybody can come on our platform day one, generate a referral code that has unlimited use for unlimited commissions per wallet. So you generate a referral code, you can refer 100 projects to list on our platform. If every single one lists on our platform, you get 5% of all the tokens that are used to upvote that project. So it's 100 vote to list, you get 5 vote tokens, and then any additional votes that they use to upvote their project, you get 5% of that. Anybody can generate a referral code. It's all unlimited. And that's all of our services.
All right, perfect. So I want to talk about the funding of what you guys have built so far, because this is not very common to have all these services at launch of the project. And I know you guys had, I'm trying to find the white paper where tab that was on all the previous raises and all that. Okay, so you had, you guys said you've been working on this for over a year, right?
Yeah, correct.
And is this all in-house development?
So all the smart contracts and kind of what I consider the bread and butter is being developed by Faisal and Brandon. But of course, this is a lot of work, right? I mean, even in a year and a half with 2 developers, it would be almost impossible to get to kind of where we are today with, again, especially how much back-end work has been done. So we actually have a private team that we've been working with for the past few years for all the other projects, we kind of help with, development with. One of those projects being ZOS. So that's kind of proof of concept that we do know what we're building, that everything we're building, is going to work and, of course, be functional and is worth it. But yeah, it's a combination of in-house and out-house.
All right, so you guys had a seed round about 2 months ago. The private sale just happened recently, right?
Yeah, so the private sale, I believe, dates start mixing together so quick, but I want to say it was probably 10 days ago, roughly. We actually closed it off early just because we got so lucky with the price of BNB going up. So we locked that out, and that way we can definitely provide more liquidity for the pre-sale. And this doesn't show up. We actually lowered our IDO from 400 to 200 just because of the market conditions and how we're kind of seeing other projects launch and how tough it is right now. But that's kind of the beauty of it is once, Coin Official does get launched, we're purely revenue-based, where we really don't need to function on the token price. Like, we don't even have any team tokens. And I'm sure we'll talk about tokenomics here in a little bit. But just kind of making sure everything is going to be as fluid as possible, and then the buy pressure is incredibly high.
Okay,
yep,
so
also,
the seed round was 21. So basically, the LP, is it going to be all in BUSD? Are you guys converting the BNB into BUSD? Because you mentioned that BNB went up, so you closed it early. So I'm assuming that means that you guys sold it for BUSD.
For the private sale, we did convert that over to BUSD to lock in that higher rate. So we timed that incredibly perfectly. So that was really amazing to kind of get some extra funds from that. And that's why we closed off that private sale early. But then actually our liquidity pool for the token will be in BNB. And that's just because we firmly believe that, over time, we think that price is going to increase as the next kind of bull market happens here.
Okay, so you raised about 7 BNB, about 21K for seed round. 37,000 for private, and your target for pre-sale is 200 BNB, right?
No, for private sale, for private sale, we only raised, what was it, Logan, 52 BNB. We cut it in half.
52.5 is when we cut it, just because the price of BNB went higher, and that's where we just want to make sure there's not too many tokens in circulation. We really need to update this, but it was so quick, and we've been just pushing so much stuff in the back end. So 70 seed sale, 52.5 for private, and then it'll be 200 for the pre-sale itself.
Okay.
Also, if there is any seed sailors or private sailors in here, the amount of tokens you're getting, you're actually getting more tokens, but value is the same as well.
All right. So, basically, leading up to this, my question is: since you guys have been, working this for a year, you have in-house, you have other developers, and you only just recently, started raising the funds. So you guys are all mainly out of pocket for this, out of your own. Basically, you're investing your own funds into this. Because people aren't working for free, right?
Yeah, so the team, quote unquote, works for free, hopefully not forever, and that being myself, Brandon, Faisal, and Trey. But really, after we kind of get launched, the only fees we have is just our AWS server bill. We really don't have any huge obligations to really anything else other than just running our platform the way we want to run it. And again, that's kind of bringing it back to the revenue-based system, is that we don't want team tokens. We don't want to sell tokens to, be able to live on. And all of us have full-time jobs. Hopefully we can quit one day, but that's what it is for now.
Okay, that's awesome. So if you could assign a dollar value or a number or how many hours you put in and also the people you paid, what would be let's say the expenses so far incurred to develop these platforms?
Oh, that's a good question. We've never been asked that. I'm almost hesitant to say, but unless there's any reason I shouldn't try, I'm happy to kind of give a little bit more of a
I don't think there's any problem with talking about it. So
sure, yeah, we're probably at roughly $45,000 up to this point. And then, through our seed and private, it's helped fund a little bit of that, but our huge majority of that is just going straight to marketing. And our liquidity pool is also being 70%, just, again, assuring that the investors are safe. And then kind of jumping back to tokenomics, is there's a 0% buy tax, and then the LP tax is on the sell is only for LP. We don't want to make any profit, from the token being transacted through the holders, and that's why we've allocated so much to the LP we can.
Oh, did the taxes change? The buy is going to be 0% now?
Yeah, we changed it just because, again, market conditions, and then it really didn't jive with, what we believe in. We really aren't trying to, become millionaires overnight with people buying our token. On a good launch, there's a large amount of transactions going through with the volume, but we really don't want to make profit from that. We really want to make profit from our 3 tiers, targeting investors, project owners, and influencers. So hopefully, as CoinOfficial does better and sells services and helps influencers sell their own services, we can do more buyback and burns, increase the token price for all the holders, and of course, the holders can stake in the meantime. But yeah, so our buy tax is going to be 0% forever. Our sell tax will be 10% for the first 7 days. After that, it drops down to 5%, and that's where it'll be locked for the foreseeable future.
And is it all going to LP?
Yep,
awesome.
LP.
I really love that. That's awesome, because I feel like if you guys are, doing the platform and you're going to be obviously having revenue from the platform, you don't even need a token, right? So if you do have a token, the token should be in a way to help you with the platform, not the other way around, not the platform help you with the token. The 100%. Most important thing is the revenue. Like you said, competition is making $1 million revenue. That's what you're focusing, not just some generic token, because let's face it, tokens on their own, they don't really do well for that long in this space. So you need to actually have something, something that brings in revenue into
100%. And that's where the token is really for the community, right? And no matter whether it's a bear market or bull market, as we're constantly onboarding new projects from our ecosystem, just from word of mouth and the people we work with, but also, again, a lot of us have been freelancers and consultants for years. Now we can stop funneling people to, other, certain places like CoinSniper, CoinMoon, or CoinVote, and that whatever. We can start bringing them to our ecosystem, which is actually fairly weighted. And again, the token's just there for the community, and we don't want to double dip. You can't go to a store and use 2 coupons on the same time. It just doesn't make sense. We shouldn't be making money from the token, and we shouldn't be making money from the platform itself. And that's why we've integrated so many deflationary features into the ecosystem.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the low tax, it'll be even better Like, it's just something to throw around, but I was actually thinking about this with a different project that I wanted to give up. I'm not gonna get into details, but I'm like, why don't you guys just make taxes like zero and just do like buy competitions back to back for like 2 weeks straight? That alone could revive the chart, right? Like, if you have people buying 2, 3 ETH just to win, and then like all of a sudden they're not first place anymore, so they sell and then buy 4 ETH now to try to win the, like I say, 2 ETH prize for the number one buyer. I mean, that alone, that volume could, get people's attention. It could get DEX schools trending. So it's like you don't need a really high tax. Like the lower the tax, the more volume you get. So it's kind of like somewhere between zero tax and huge volume and 99% tax and no volume at all. There's some sweet spot in there, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
So I do like the low tax. It might even be worth considering even having it lower just to get that volume higher. But the fact is that it's all going to LP anyways, so that's great. But if I'm like a trader, and to me, it's immediately a lot more interesting when I'm looking at a chart and I know the tax is like 3%, 4%, because obviously it depends on the LP. So if it's some low cap thing, it could like 2, 3x when you blink an eye, then the tax doesn't matter too much. But when you start getting a little bit higher market cap, and it's like, man, I could put in 10K, and as soon as it goes up 5%, I'm already in profits. No, 5 profit. I don't even need to trade on a centralized exchange anymore. If I actually believe in the project, I could actually do some nice trading with like a low tax token, and that could create some huge volume that's going to give you guys exposure, and exposure is going to lead to users on a platform, and that's your number one goal, is to actually get people to use the platform. So that means everyone has to know about it. It's not even the exposure of the token itself. People need to know about the platform.
Absolutely. And we could always lower the taxes, even further. It's not very difficult to go from 5% to 3%. Something we could definitely do. We do want to keep the taxes a little high on the sell, at 10% for just the first couple days, after launch. That way, if people do start selling, or if there's a dip or whatever the case is, at least they're really contributing to that LP. But again, the token's pure utility. If people are using our platform, the price, there's going to be buying pressure on the token. They have to buy the token to vote on the platform, or to even list, for that matter.
Yeah, when you're voting on stuff, that's a transfer, that's not a sell. So it's not like that's going to be hitting the chart in a negative impact, 24/7. That's just going to go to basically a project treasury wallet where that's kind of being held there. So when you're, voting on projects, you don't need to worry about your votes being diminished over time. Everything's really gamified and is on that rolling period, to whereas the vote ecosystem changes and the price of the token goes up or down, it's always going to be reflected on the front end of the website.
All right. I think we discussed a little bit in private chat about the whole voting thing, because like I said, I myself, I don't even vote on DEX tools or on CoinSniper or any of those. Like, I don't really even care, right? And it's free to vote.
And most people don't, honestly, right? When we talk about investors, they don't. But guess what? Everyone's still buying votes. Projects are still buying votes. So how do we make that transparent for the community and then also benefit them? And that was the whole point of Coin Official.
And I do want to add something, Boria. In the future, we will have a feature that I guarantee you will go and vote, like yourself. You will want to vote. It'll give you an incentive to vote. So I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's gonna be.
Yeah, definitely. So it's more like a marketing thing. It's not really. I would say it's not really targeting like the users in a way. Oh, it's like 100, 1,000 investors voting, and that's the project that everyone's buying in. It's more of like really kind of what the other ones are used for, anyways. Like we said, like people did not bother voting. Like most people don't even track the chart, like, or they sell after 2x and move on. So the only guys that really like even go on CoinGecko and vote up the chart are the ones who are really trying to pump their own bags.
The ones that are buying the tokens, they're buying the votes, right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah, pumping their own bags and buying votes, exactly. So I feel like this part of it is going to be more focused towards like the actual developers, the projects themselves, like you're saying, like buying the votes, getting the exposure, being the top voted or the top trending on your platform.
Yep.
Kind of like
exactly.
CMC right now. People paying for DEX tools trending, for CMC trending, all that stuff.
Exactly. We have it trending on our platform as well. The trending section is the most upvoted token on a 5-day rolling period. So we do have a trending section. The difference is the market determines how much that costs. No $20,000 a day unless it is, which would be great for our investors, right? But am I still sharing my screen? Can you guys see this here?
Yeah.
So listen, we do benefit investors as well. We understand a majority of the tokens are going to be bought and upvoted by projects. Why would they not be? The difference is they have certain criteria for these badges: starter, premium, elite, and then we have coin official select. If you want to have a starter badge, you have to have 5,000 votes. Okay, that's 5,000 votes of buying pressure on our platform. Premium, 25,000 votes, audit complete. They've purchased Telegram marketing in our AMA marketplace, okay, from our influencer marketplace. Elite badge for investor. Maybe I only want to buy elite badge or higher tokens. 50,000 votes. They have an audit complete, KYC complete. They did an AMA with us, coin official, and or maybe you, anti-ruggers, if you're on our influencer platform. You know, they did an AMA with you. They have a strong team, which is essentially vetting. Professional white paper, marketing plan they've submitted to us, and they've purchased additional marketing again inside of our influencer marketplace. So as an investor, I'll only buy projects that are elite or coin official select. You know, why would I bother around not buying a project that's, you know, not done these services? And again, it brings it all back to they have to purchase these services through us. And then if we buy these services, we use a portion of that revenue for buyback and burn. Now, just to bring up what Kondo was saying, everything we're talking about here today is live on launch. However, we do have a future release, and I can kind of just mention it, where basically we have an investor leaderboard. If you buy a token on our platform and the price goes up, you get a certain amount of points. On that leaderboard, you could just simply click on the investor and buy whatever projects they're investing in, who's the number one spot, which again is going to drive more people to the platform and projects to actually want to list their project here on Coin Official because they have a chance to actually get some real buying pressure.
All right. So yeah, so it's a way to filter out like projects that most likely if they're gonna have 70,000 votes, so they did all these marketers that did the vetting with you guys, then there's a higher chance it's a good project versus not just a scam.
Absolutely.
It won't bother any of that stuff. But the thing is, scammers do really go out of their way a lot of times to get everything that's required. For example, even Pink Sale, they get the safety badge, they get the KYC badge, they get audit, they get even docs badges. And a lot of times it's they either pay someone off or they have fake documents, like we discussed. So just because someone does that, goes through the process, doesn't necessarily mean the project is safe. Or even if it is, doesn't mean it's actually going to be profitable. Because you could, a lot of times, maybe when you go through all these steps, that's when you're all trending all-time high. But when people when you actually get labeled as coin official select, let's say, that's literally the top, and it could go downhill from there, right? So just because something gets on there doesn't mean it's going to be automatically, you're going to make money on it, right? Because a lot of times when it's just projects that grow and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, then they actually get to the point where everyone knows about them. By the time everyone knows about them, that's kind of when you should be selling. It's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news type of situation. That's kind of what this space really has shown. It's following these trends. It's by the time more people know about it, by the time the influencers actually start tweeting or start marketing it or start calling it, that's like when the guys that got in early, that's when they start selling. So a lot of times people call the top. So I think that is definitely something to also take in mind and figure out, I guess, because what I'm saying is just because something's listed, they get a badge or whatever, they pass certain criteria, doesn't mean that it's automatically, this is a good time to invest or a good time to buy.
Absolutely. I mean, there might be a project with no badges that is, mooning. It's done a 20x or whatever the case is. That's something that everybody needs to understand is, none of this is financial advice, right? We can determine what projects have done more effort, right? They've submitted more stuff to us, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a really great investment.
Yeah, definitely. So I do think, obviously you guys have some of the other things in there, like consultations and all that. So I do feel like if the team's good enough and trusted and you guys feel good about it, then there's a much higher chance that even, let's say there's a dip or whatever, in the long run, they're going to be around. They're not going to give up 3 weeks later and apologize and just basically run away with the tail between their legs. Most likely they are going to continue on working. And when that's the case, eventually it's going to pick up again, and they're going to bring in more revenue, or they're going to bring in their utilities, and it's going to take off, right? So it's really more about like getting like the feel for the team and investing in the team, not itself, not their idea, not their white paper, but what are they actually capable of doing.
Absolutely.
So I had a question concerning this, but I already forgot what it was. All right, so this platform, like, and you're targeting the voting sites, but you're adding more to it. You're adding like, marketing, or basically it'll be assisting with assistant developers in a way, or assistant holders with
I personally
too, in a way.
think, yeah, I think that we are really competing with coin voting, but we're really like what CMC should be, right? Because me as a project, I can come onto the platform. I can first of all, I can get referred. I can use somebody's referral link and they can earn a commission. I come onto the platform. I can promote my own project. I can create a staking pool for my project. My investors can come on here, claim the tokens from my project, maybe even promote my project more by buying up the tokens. We understand that's probably not going to be the case. And then my investors can also stay on my platform because they can collect their tokens, and they can even track their wallet using our portfolio tracker. Not to mention read articles that can be upvoted. Go to the influencer marketplace if you're a project owner, buy stuff. It's all going to be on our platform.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, I remember my question, because you mentioned that investors will be awarded, or rewarded. So let's say a lot of people are using the platform to vote, to buy the votes, buy the tokens. What will be the real avenue for investors that will reward them, other than like, let's say, price going up just because more people know about it? But I mean, is there going to be some kind of, we talked also about the $1 million revenue sharing? So to do that, to get the revenue, they're going to have to buy the tokens, right? So
absolutely.
To do anything with you guys,
yeah,
the revenue has to go through the token. So basically, if it's just to buy the token and it goes into treasury, then that's basically $1 million worth of buybacks every year, right? But is that all it's going to be, or is it going to be split to certain percentages, and percentages are going to go back to you guys, or is it going to be burned, or is that tokens that they use to buy votes and pay for all the services? What's going to happen to those?
Yeah, so every time someone votes, of course, if there's a referral code, that referral is going to get 5%. 5% of that token is going to be burnt. And then, we plan on implementing NFTs down the road. So that's going to be roughly probably 15 to 20% of the votes if you're kind of, a long-term believer in what we're doing. And then the rest of it really gets sent back to the project/treasury wallet from there. Now, but when we talk about revenue in $1 million, market space, or really even more, we're not just talking about, the volume of the token, right? Because when people purchase services from us, even though that service is purchased in like BNB or Ethereum or whatever it may be at the time, we're taking that revenue that's unrelated to the token just because it's used on the platform, and we're going to buy back the token and burn it with that revenue too. Not necessarily like you don't have to use vote for us to be buying back and burning our token, as people are using the influencer marketplace, which is going to be transacted mainly in BNB, if that makes sense.
Yeah, is there like a certain percentage that you're targeting? Because the whole point about holding a token, I feel, is the growth. The more user base, the bigger user base you guys have, the bigger potential for growth. More people are going to be knowing about it, and also they're going to be using the tokens. But at the same time, that revenue, let's say you do get to that $1 million revenue, how is it going to basically reward the holders? Let's say 20% of that is going to go to buybacks, and 50% is going to go to growth, and 30% of the team. Or like, do you guys have any like idea how that's going to get distributed?
Well, when you talk about rewarding the holders, I think the main concept is that hopefully if we do everything right, the price goes up. I don't want to promise anyone anything, of course, but if people are using the platform, whether they're using the token or not, if they're even just buying development services, right? Completely unrelated to the token. That's where those buyback and burns happen. But then there's just traditional burns when people vote But then again, the remaining tokens that aren't being sent to referral, aren't being burnt, aren't being sent to NFT holders, those are going back to the treasury wallet to help build the ecosystem and make it last longer.
Okay, what about, like, let's say revenue from advertisements? Let's say you get $1 million a year just from ads on your website, and let's say another 200K just from booking AMAs. Would that all go directly to you, or is there some kind of, you guys are planning some
to our
kind of
Gnosis
rewards?
multi-sig wallet, and that's where we're taking 5% of all that revenue, and we're doing those buyback and burns. And that's how the team is basically paying themselves, paying for extra enhancements down the road. We don't want to be stagnant like, Coin Sniper and CoinMoon or Fresh Coins, where they've been the same site for years. We really want to keep developing and adding on those future enhancements, which obviously cost money. Our AWS bills continually push marketing. But of course, again, everything, no matter how it is involved in the ecosystem, goes through that profit of the buyback and burns, where it doesn't matter if someone's paying us, if they're buying token or when they're voting, or if they're just, paying for a dApp to be built. Everything is going to be tied into that token price.
Okay. So if the 5% is going to be for buyback and burn, so that's at least that's the target right now. And
that's just for additional services, though.
Okay, so it's not like a stock company, or like we're going to get dividends based on revenue. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not the full thing. So it's still mostly going to the developers, which is you guys, and you guys will basically decide what to do with it. For the most part, most of it is going to go to you to either manage the company, add new products.
Let's say
all
we
that
sold.
stuff.
Yeah, let's say we sold $10,000 of like press releases. Maybe people had us write them or anything like that. Automatically, 5% of that $10,000 is going to go do buyback and burns. The rest is going to be sent to the treasury wallet, where which is a Gnosis multi-sig owned by everyone in our team, and then we can decide how we're going to use those funds moving forward. Whether it's paying ourselves, whether it's more marketing, whether it's more development, really everything far in between.
Will holders have any say in this, or is it just going to be basically just the team deciding what to do with it?
Now, we're not a DAO, so I don't want to, again, promise that, hey, everyone's going to vote and then you guys decide how the funds from our own services happen, because a lot of those services are times out of our own hands. Like if I have a 30-minute consultation,
definitely.
Again, I'm going to use those. Yeah, let's say I get paid $100 an hour. Automatically $5, I'm going to go buy back, burn those tokens, submit the transaction so everyone can see everyone's happy. But now, again, that's going to go to our pool, which then gets divvied up, based on our revenue. If that answers the question.
Yeah.
But everything is just going to help affect the token, because when I'm getting paid for, say, a consultation or development work, we're not CoinMooner, where it's like, hey, go buy our token, we'll give you a 25% discount, and then we sell it immediately right after. We're just going to take BNB, then use that BNB to buy back our token and burn it anyways.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So
not to mention the main feature of the platform. Yeah, not to mention the main feature of the platform itself is the token being used to upvote articles and projects. And that's really where the investors are going to shine and see all of the benefits, because the whole point of the platform is to upvote those projects, upvote those articles. And if people are listing on our platform, that's a lot of buying pressure. And the investors are going to see that buying pressure, because all investors, at the end of the day, they buy a project more than likely 99% of the time because they think they're going to make money. They're not really buying it for any other reason.
Yeah, so the buy pressure from let's say from the voting. So like you said, like 5,000 votes. Currently, I looks like on GemPad, you get 12,500 tokens per BNB, right? That's the pre-sale rate.
Yeah, so after liquidity is added, I believe it's going to be 0.025, or basically 2.5 cents a token.
Okay, I see. So to get 5,000 votes, that's still a significant chunk of money, right? Like half a BNB, or roughly, plus or minus.
Sure.
So if someone buys 5,000 votes, that means, let's say, half a BNB is going to go to basically buying that token, because they have to buy that $5,000, 5,000 votes, 5,000 tokens, which is at launch, let's say, is worth half a BNB. So they have to buy half a BNB of tokens just to make the 5,000 votes. And then those tokens are never going to be sold, right? They're going to go to treasury, but they're not like going to be like, later dumped. So it's effectively being locked out of the supply.
Well, if people vote, that's kind of where we're locking out the 5% burned, and then the referral, the NFTs. So already a huge chunk of those tokens, roughly probably about 25% of every vote is going right back to the community. And then it goes to the treasury wallet where then those tokens are sold. And then, again, we can just choose how to use that revenue. If we're having a really good month, we'll just do more buyback and burns. And that's kind of, again, where we don't want to have our hands double dipping, and that's why we've lowered all our taxes to zero to lower the barrier of entry.
Okay. So, okay,
Let
makes
me get
sense.
you a flow.
So most
Actually, I
of the
think that
tokens
might
are
be.
going to be basically sold again after they're bought to vote. So it's not going to be like an
Well, they
infant, like
don't.
a huge.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not a 100% wash, right? Like somebody votes
Yeah.
and then those tokens are never sold again. We do have the ability to sell those tokens. We have a flow that's built out. So that way we can continuously like generate more revenue from the token itself. But again, like Logan said, if we're having a really good month, we have full say, right? We could continuously, why do we need to sell these tokens? We're having a really good month. There's absolutely no point. We understand the whole point of the bigger the token gets, the more eyes are on us. We're not going to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah,
And
makes
that's
sense.
where,
But
I don't want to tell people we're a DAO and that, they get to make the final decision, because at some point, like, we really have been in the space for a long time, and we really do believe we can curate this ecosystem the way it probably should be ran originally. Because we've helped a lot of projects, a lot of project owners, and that's the most frustrating thing, is seeing them kind of mess up post-launch. We help them do all this great marketing, we help them build a DApp, and then they start, doing crazy stuff. It's like, well, stop doing that. And then finally we can be that person to hopefully run the project the right way from start to finish. And that's where all of our tokens are ran in the multi-sig, where we need a 3 out of 4 voting approval. So there's no chance of one team member, maybe having a bad day and doing something stupid. But let's show us our flow here. Trey, if you can grab that link and post it, I think that would answer a lot of your questions, because I think you have a lot of really good questions around how the token functions and everything like that.
oh yeah, that is kind of what I was
here.
looking for, like a money flow chart, or just how the
100%.
system works.
And
Yeah, I'm
that
going to
kind
pull
of
it up
rolls
right
back
here.
to perfect. And that rolls back to my experience with tokenomics. We really want to create a deflationary ecosystem. We don't want to run on Ponzi-nomics. And that's, again, just another reason that we don't have team tokens off the bat, right? We don't want to be slow rugging or selling. We're also not counting on early investors or new investors to fund the old investors, because we're going to be doing those buyback and burns over time ourselves as people purchase press release articles in BNB, as they purchase more marketing, influencer packages in BNB. And we do want to add other chains like Ethereum and whatnot down the road, just to keep things more diverse or a bridge. But those will come later. I don't want to ramble on too far, because we've already added so many things to this platform. But I believe this will kind of showcase our exact flow of where the money goes.
Okay, this is not actually on the white paper or anything, right?
No, correct.
No, this is not on the white paper. Yeah, but you can see here, we have your user. They come on to Coin Official. They vote. You can see beep boop beep boop. That's the data stuff you can see there. This is the backend. This is the admin wallet, and then you can see how it splits from there. Right, 10% to treasury, 70% to project distribution, 5% burn, and then our NFTs will get 10%. Those are not live yet, so you can just kind of ignore this for now. And then we have a referral distribution. If they were referred, then 5% gets sent to the referral. If they weren't, it gets sent to the treasury instead.
And this is one of those things that, this isn't hard coded. We can constantly change this over time. So, if we're, say it's a bad month, right, we're just going to burn more tokens, do more buyback and burns. We can be incredibly fluid with it, right? That's where we talk about that profit wallet going to the multi-sig. And that's where we can really decide how are we going to use those funds, because we're really trying to make this ecosystem last really forever, because, again, our only fee is really our Web 2 AWS server. So when we talk about that, we have a lot of options to keep things running, pay for extra marketing, onboarding projects, influencers, whatever it may be.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I want to go touch back on the tokenomics, token allocations for a little bit. So, like we discussed previously, the seed round, that one is vested, 50% released, and 5% 5 days after, or every the other 10% a day, basically. And there's some other big wallets in there, like the treasury is 10%, holdback is 15%, staking rewards is 20%. So can you explain the reasoning for those wallets, how they will function, and if they will be locked?
Yeah,
Or
Trey, are you
vested?
able to scroll one more page further? And if anyone here is listening, or even yourself after this call,
This
feel free to
page?
go to GemPad. Yep, perfect. Tokenomics, thank you. Feel free to go to GemPad. You can see we've locked up a majority of the tokens. The only tokens really left remaining are the seed sale and private sale tokens, with a small amount, I believe, in treasury. Holdback, we specifically always set aside a little bit. Now, we really do need to update this because after we closed out our private sale and lowered our pre-sale rate from 400 to 200, there is some slight alterations. Holdback is 10%. That is used for future liquidity for either decentralized exchanges or centralized exchanges. Staking is still roughly 20%. We plan on that lasting probably between 3 to 4 years. Again, that's going to be a very slow release. Of course, we always want there to be more buy pressure than sell pressure, just giving people more incentive to hold the token while we constantly are doing those buyback and burns and growing the platform itself. Obviously, you have pre-sale, liquidity, seed sale, private sale. Liquidity from the seed sale or from the pre-sale is going to be 70% to the liquidity itself. So again, just helping the investors as much as possible, giving them more security and transparency. And then our treasury, which is a smaller allocation of 10%, is going to be used for marketing development post-launch. But again, there is going to be, I think we've unlocked like maybe 1% of that, but we're very careful. We really don't want to sell those, and a lot of everything we've been paying for is out of pocket. So again, we're going to be very careful. If there's a down round, we're never going to sell those tokens. If that kind of helps answer the question.
Yeah,
on tokenomics.
definitely.
It's really
definitely
simple.
be careful
Yeah.
with
I just wanted
treasury
to add
like
this
marketing.
on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to add this on as well. We've been consulting and seeing people do this. People like Rug Project, stuff like that. If you run a successful project, you're going to make way more money in the long run. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
you're going to make
the
so much more
scammers,
money.
the ruggers, they're the ones who really don't know how to have a successful project. They take the easy way out, the lazy way, basically just scam for pennies when if they actually put in all the effort, they could have made a real good project.
Absolutely. So, like, if we saw a really down day or week or month for our token, it's really simple for that price to recover as long as people are using the platform. If people are using the platform, uploading projects, it's just simple for us to turn the switch off, making sure that all of that buying pressure is directly affecting the chart.
Okay. Yeah, one thing I wanted to say about the whole marketing and the tokens, since you guys I do see it's locked. There's a lot of different unlock dates. I didn't really check when's the earliest unlock, but you're saying the treasury is mostly gonna be used, like you're planning to use it for marketing, and the holdback is not really 15%. It's a lot less. You actually said it's 10%, right? So out of the unlocked 18%, is holdback
let me
part of
go.
that in GemPad?
No, so a lot of that 18% is going to be for the seed and private. Let me go pull up our updated tokenomics spreadsheet, and we can kind of showcase that to you and everyone here today.
Okay.
Give me
Because one thing I would recommend is do not send tokens to callers, or if you do,
Oh, we're not.
We
trust me.
haven't,
make
by
sure
the
they're
way.
vested.
Yeah, we haven't
And
sent any tokens to callers at all.
Because
that's
I've
where-
seen this in other projects. They literally, there's guys, some of them are scammers, or even if they're not, they literally, I seen them sell tokens like a minute after they get them. So it's like if you're selling your tokens before you even make the call, that means you don't believe in your call at all. Like a call is supposed to be something that you believe in, mostly even do for free a lot of times. If you're just calling token, it doesn't take you a lot of time to put up a pin post, especially if it's already written for you. The part that takes a long time is to actually look into it, figure out if it's legit, do your research. But if you already know that, if you already know it's a good project, or your people that you trust are telling you and they've been right, then it's not gonna rug. It's a good project. Then it's like, is there really any work that you need to do? Why are you charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to make a Twitter post, and then you're selling those tokens right away? That means you don't really believe in the call. You have no actual pull in the game, right? Because if I actually
100%,
believe in the project myself, and I know my calls are worth it, And I know that after I call, like a lot of people are gonna start looking into it. They're gonna start buying it. It's gonna pump the chart. My community is gonna start pumping it because they're like pump your own bags. They're gonna start spreading the news, word of mouth. Like, why would I ever sell? It's like, why would I sell my own community? Like, why would I call them to buy and then sell immediately? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how the space really is at the time. It's something, again, we've seen happen a lot, and we really aren't fans of that kind of system. And that's exactly why we're creating things like the influencer marketplace to give those influencers a reason to be on the platform and partner with us, but not where we'd ever give them, hey, I want 1% of the total supply, and then they sell it. It just does not make sense at all. It hurts everyone else in the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys said you guys wanted to share. So yeah, so as long as those most of the tokens I think are locked, at least they don't have to be locked forever, but don't just have them all unlocked on day one. So even 1% a day released would look a lot better. And I do see that you did have them locked on GemPad. I just didn't really check all the numbers to see when's the next one being unlocked or not. Because projects could do that too. They could literally lock them all up, but it's unlocked 3 hours after launch, so if no one checks that, it looks good, it's all locked, but you got to look at the unlock period too, or when the vesting ends.
100%. Most of our stuff has a 30-day cliff on it right off the bat, and then even then the release is incredibly slow. And honestly, again, just with our experience in the space, even though some tokens may become unlocked, through the treasury wallet mainly, I really don't think we have any intention to sell them because we've already gotten such great feedback from the platform for press releases and everything like that, where there's really never going to be a reason for us to sell those tokens. At least I hope so.
Yeah, definitely. All right, perfect.
Well, let me share my screen though, and you can take a quick look here. Hopefully, I know the numbers are kind of small. This is kind of one of my specialties where I really dive into tokenomics and really helping projects from start to finish. So just some quick recaps here. Total supply of 10 million tokens, hard cap 200 as the pre-sale rates you've seen through GemPad itself. But kind of going down to the wallet allocation here, now you can see the final numbers of everything we did. And let me know if you have any questions, or if I can start just reading them out loud if that would be better.
Yeah, you can just read it out.
Sure. So pre-sale 25.2%, liquidity 16.8%, which is a 70% ratio. Seed sale being 10.5%, private sale being 7.14%. Just jumping back again, the seed sale is 50% vested over that 5-day period of time. Just slowing down that chart a little bit as people get more comfortable with the ecosystem and what we're doing, just protecting investors. Treasury 10%, again, kind of think of that as our ecosystem, everything like a catch-all for anything we need. Maybe it's legal fees, marketing, development, bug bounties, pen tests. We burned 1.36. Holdback, which is for future LP. And then we have 19% for staking and rewards. And we'd have to go to GemPad.
Those green ones are locked, though, right? You said they're all locked for 30 days minimum?
Yeah, so the green ones, which I believe, let me make sure, we have our treasury wallet, holdback, and staking. And then you can kind of see, I had to scroll pretty far, but even the first tokens don't unlock until January 8th. Okay, and even then, it's such a small percent.
That's all we needed.
Yeah. And again, mostly it comes down to the staking being a large pool, and that's where we have it vested over a long period of time, roughly 2 years here. But I think we'll even slow it down further, maybe making it last 3 to 4 years, and then locking back up tokens we don't need.
Okay, so speaking of staking, so the platform's going to be ready. Can you tell us the details about staking? Is it going to be APR? How is it going to be calculated? What roughly are we expecting? Is there a minimum lock period?
So with the Coin Official staking platform, with our own token and other tokens, they can come there and you can select a variety of different pools. For ourselves, we're going to have an unlocked pool, 30-day, 90-day, and I believe 180-day. And obviously, the longer the lock, the better the APR. I think we'll release the final APR numbers here shortly in a few days, kind of more towards launch. But what's really cool is that any project, no matter what the token is on BSC, just to start, can go there and can start creating staking pools themselves. And that's where we only take a 1.1 BNB fee, being roughly $25-30, and then 1% of the stake supply. But now a project owner can have their tokens staked for their community and incentivize them to use the platform and visit it and earn more tokens over time without paying $5,000 or $10,000 for a developer, and hopefully everything goes well there too.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So you said 30, 60, 90 days, that would be the locks. And you said there's also an unlocked staking.
Yeah, so there's going to be different pools, 4 different types, and they're going to vary in length. So basically, you're going to start with unlocked being, obviously the lowest APR, the lowest reward because there's 0 locking time. The longer you want to lock, basically the greater the APR percentage will get.
Okay, perfect. I think that's all I need to know about that. Is that that's going to be ready right at launch too?
Yes, correct.
All right. So one important question is, so like you said, like you put a lot of money, a lot of time and effort yourselves into the project, and you guys are not taking any team tokens except, just the tokens that are being set aside for the treasury. But of course, those are also locked like for 30 days or more. So your goal is to build a platform and get, long-term revenue from that, and hopefully, beat out the competition. So the most important thing with that is visibility and user base. So getting people to actually use the platform. Because if you have the best thing in the world but no one's using it, then it's then it doesn't do anything. But if you have a shitty platform, like for example, like I'm not gonna name names, but the charting in crypto right now, like some of the charting we have to use these websites, like it's crap compared to mainstream platforms. Like we can't even have a watch list that's going to be saved. Like I refresh my screen and all my tokens are gone. So a lot of this stuff is crap, but they make a shit ton of money because there's nothing else, and people paying $5,000 a day for ads, banner ads on that website. So so my question is, what do you guys think? How would you be? What steps are you taking, or like what are you thinking of for mass adoption, for basically beating out the competition? Like, what's the plan there to expand the user base, expand reach?
Well, I think that really kind of rolls back to our principle, right? I mean, we're targeting really 3 different tiers of people: investors, project owners, and marketers. So by targeting all of these people, we're hopefully going to build a whole ecosystem. Right off the bat, a huge hit has been our influencer marketplace. If we get all the influencers on board, they're psyched, they're happy, they're selling their services, right off the bat, that's going to bring more projects in too. Of course, the project owners have all these other dApps and features they can use that will help fulfill their ecosystem. But now they can go there and actually start seeing real statistics around, the marketing and what they should buy and what the best ROI is. Now, of course, now you have the projects here, you have influencers here. Now the investors are going to be there too. But that's kind of where we talk about our SEO news pages, right? Because we're really trying to create content for everyone. We're not just targeting, your average 25-year-old male crypto bro. We really want to start creating content on YouTube, TikTok, and these other sources so that we can start expanding and basically reaching a wider demographic. Now, some of this is obviously going to take time. I mean, even getting to this phase has been an insane amount of work. And that's why, again, there's no team tokens. We're really here for the long term, because why would we leave right now or, end the pre-sale, and be done a week later after we've already spent all this time and money on this platform? Like, most of us have previous business experience, and we're really confident with everything we're creating. Of course, we have Conda helping us market. Trey's really our sales guy / marketer too, where he's worked for, $1 million SaaS companies selling, software as a service. So really with all our expertise, our developers, in-house and our outsourced ones, incredibly confident we can create all that stuff. Now, kind of back to the question around content, right? One of our other team members, which isn't here today, I would say he's more of an advisor / team member helper, but he's our content creator, Astronaut Labs. And he's worked for large companies like Dell and HP, making videos, tutorials, and stuff like that. So we have plans to build, crypto series with him so that we can start reaching, again, a wider demographic across the board, not just people in Telegram or Discord.
Okay, perfect. That's a definitely good answer there. So I'm actually excited because this is probably the first platform I'm actually going to start using, and I'll probably put my projects on there and hack your wallet so I could have 1 million votes. So please send me your seed phrase.
And I know you kind of talked about the voting before. I want to kind of just roll back a little bit, as our goal is not to have a project with 500,000 votes. I mean, that's really where the community decides what's the top project based on the voting. So even if someone only buys one B&B and 5,000 votes, or half a B&B and 5,000 votes, that might be the top project if that's what the community decides. We're not trying to sit here and say, hey, to be on the trending section, you need to give us $5,000. That just sounds crazy and silly, and it's again one of those frustrating points I see as a consultant in the industry.
I mean, it's a free market economy, right? So that's how people are paying to get to be at the top. That's just kind of what it costs.
Also,
100%.
also, like for me, when we were started talking about the coin voting and all that stuff, we really came up with some really great ideas, like the leaderboard idea for the voting, to where you can actually personalize your votes and get your voting profile out there, so that you can actually follow people that do make good votes, meaning like they vote on projects that do well, not just project owners that go and buy a ton of votes for themselves, right? So I feel like in the future it's going to be more of a competition when it comes to the voting, and people trying to get to the top of the leaderboards and prove that they're good investors, and I really feel like it's going to take on its own little ecosystem and its own little world, and have like people actually excited to go and try to vote on a project they feel like is going to do well.
Yeah, and I think like honestly doing some kind of like competitions or giveaways to get the community active, so they could use some of their tokens for votes too. Let's say like I don't know, it doesn't have to be like a lot. Let's say 100. Vote on a project, your favorite project, 100 votes, and like every week have like some winners for the most active members, or something like that. I think that'd be kind of good to get people actually engaged in using the platform and spreading awareness.
Yeah, like it's like call channels, right? There's you go into some call channels and you see people talking about every random token, every new token or whatever, and then you go into some other call channels and you get a group of like real investors that actually sit down and talk about projects that are legit, and they share really good projects, and those groups are hard to get into, right? We're trying to build this community of actual investors that are smart, that know what's going to do well, what's not going to do well, and have those conversations going on, rather than just trying to pump the newest token that's out.
Definitely. Okay, guys. So I'm actually done with my questions. So we'll open to the community for questions. Anyone have any comments? Any questions?
Yeah, sometimes we don't get a lot of questions just because we cover everything so much, but happy to take any, Mr. C, I guess.
Mr. C, you had a question?
How?
Oh, Ling. Yeah. Hey, Ling, we could hear you, but of course we know you don't speak English, so quit trolling.
Go down.
Just
Come
go
on.
to my question. Thanks for the opportunity. Okay, nice project. Well, I also wanted to ask on your marketing. Concerning the marketing plans, will there be offline marketings like sponsoring of events, hosting stuffs, or making out merchandise, stuff like that? Are there plans on such things like that?
I don't know if I fully understood the full question.
I
But
think
in terms,
he's basically saying any plans for marketing, like merchandise, like I guess T-shirts or anything like that.
I would like to do T-shirts. I have a few designs mocked up. I'm pretty sure no one likes them though, so I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I think that stuff's fun to do. I don't really think it has a real impact on the ecosystem or what we're creating, but it'd be a fun thing to build down the road. But I don't want to say like, oh, we're gonna drop merch and it's gonna be a huge thing. I'm sure only 5 people buy shirts, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, I feel like stuff like that, and like Van with your ads, it kind of works, but it kind of doesn't, because many people will see it. But even if they are in crypto, like even if I see that stuff, I just don't go on buy the chart immediately or anything like that. You know what I mean? And most of the time, the people that see they don't even know what the hell that is. They don't even know how to buy on Ethereum or BSC. So like 99% of the people are probably not going to be affected. Even if you reach like 1 million audience, it's not targeted. So that's why it's kind of difficult because it's not really mass adopted yet. Even crypto,
Yeah.
like you tell people to buy Bitcoin, most of them like, well, I don't have a wallet. I don't have Coinbase. I need to connect my bank account. I need an on-ramp. They always have these excuses. So it's still kind of difficult to get like your everyday Joe to get on there and buy some crypto.
100%. And we do want to start bridging that gap, right? I mean, we do want to get out of our little bubbles here on Telegram and start reaching a wider, diverse group of people. But of course, we're going to do, run targeted ads. People that are maybe interested in crypto, have attributes towards, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or maybe a centralized exchange, based on their search history through like Facebook or Google AdWords. But that's also why we start reaching out to other demographics like through YouTube and TikTok. That's where hopefully Astronaut Labs and myself can really come up with some fun content that's going to really bring in viewers, not just, hey, here's 100 times token, please buy it. I could not care for that. I don't watch those. I know other people really don't. I just want to create educational content around crypto, or maybe even like fun series around, what's going on in the space, whether it's centralized exchanges failing, maybe new DEXs being launched, whatever it may be. Just kind of expanding from there.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like with your website, basically you have a website that based on the traffic, internet traffic, and user base, that is the marketing. That's the marketing that you want. First of all, it's a revenue because you are going to be selling ads as a revenue stream. And second of all, you could put up your own ads too, but your own ads on your own website to sell services. But of course, everyone that's on there already knows what you're doing. But basically, kind of what you're going to be selling, you could use that same tactic to do on other websites. So, internet marketing, I think that's the way to go. But I think his question is more about like outside of the normal standard type of stuff. But like you said, it's not. I think money wise, it doesn't go as far as some other types of marketing. But of course, in the end of the day, like after say a year or two, people might have CoinGecko shirts, So I think it's definitely possible.
100%. I think we're always outreaching, getting more enhancements and, creating a bigger community around our content and everything we're creating. I mean, content is king. I mean, we need to get more stuff out there, write articles, and a lot of that stuff, what we've been focused on so far is a lot of development work. But as we kind of get launched and get established and get a little bit more comfortable and can breathe, after our pre-sale, we're going to start really ramping up, our content series and everything we're putting out in the world. And that's just going to engage more users.
There's not a question. Don't know whether he has said how to vote. If not, please ask him how to vote. So basically, how do you vote? Do you interact with your platform and you connect your wallet?
Yeah, so your wallet is really your account, right? I mean, this is Web3. We don't want people to be doing email accounts and forgetting passwords and all that kind of stuff, right? So your wallet's your account. Of course, you can just go straight to PancakeSwap, buy a vote, or from even GemPad's presale, right? But the easiest way for probably most users is you go find a project, you're on the home page, you click vote, and it's going to pop up a box. It's going to say, hey, how many votes do you want to do? But it's like, hey, do you need votes? And then on the right side, it's going to show basically the PancakeSwap router with our own UI interface, allowing you to swap, BNB, the vote, or whatever it may be. And hopefully, again, down the line, we'll start doing some bridges and cross-chain stuff. But for now, we'll just be doing BNB using the PancakeSwap router. You just click the project, vote, buy it. Pretty easy.
Logan, are you cool with after the recording, sharing your screen and showing these guys real quick that, or no?
Yeah, we can show some stuff. I mean, right now we're really in the heavy idea of populating a lot of the data. Is just a little sparse at the moment, but we can show a few things. That's more than fine.
Okay, yeah, after I saw it, I was, initially I was blown away, and then seeing it like live, it was just mind-blowing, and it was awesome. Like, I'm really excited.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up here. Give me one moment.
You guys are launching So pre-sale ends. Okay, sale starts in 3 days or so. What's the length? About 24 hours?
I believe we have it set for 48 hours, and then after that 48-hour period, 24 hours after that, the liquidity will be added, just giving people more time to tell their friends, get BNB ready, whatever they need to do around centralized
Okay.
exchanges to move things over.
Oh, perfect. So basically, the platform, everything's ready. You just got to get, like you said, populate the data.
100%. I'm just trying to get it pulled up here.
Wait till after the recording though, because
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Well, any more questions I can maybe ask about what we're creating, who we are, anything else, I guess?
Any more questions, guys? Last call.
No more questions.
Let's get to the giveaway.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Ling. Ling, yes, you invest 100 BNB into this project after I buy more. Okay, thank you. All right, guys. So
Thank you.
if there's any more questions, then feel free to ask in here. Ask the community. I want everybody in the AMA, please join their channel if you haven't already. Join the Telegram, and the website will be up soon. From what you guys said. But I linked the white paper. I posted that in here, and if you have any questions, join the Telegram. Ask them questions there also. And we could end it here. You guys want to do like a closing statement, just a conclusion to everything, and then I'll end the recording.
Sure. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for anyone that's here listening, has questions, or wants to learn more about what we're creating, or even see some sneak peeks as we get closer to launch. We're even looking at getting some beta testers soon too. Join our Telegram, jump in there, ask questions, talk with the community, and then our pre-sale will be December 5th, and that's on GemPad, Diamond Tier, KYC Plus. Audit was perfect. We're always around, happy to engage the community, jump on calls, and do some internal AMAs too to showcase what we're creating.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming, and everyone that's new here today, thanks for coming here for this AMA, and I invite you all to stick around and be part of our lounge. We aim to have good projects like this one, and I think just by reputation alone, it filters out most of the crap. So it's like a win-win for everybody. So once again, thanks everyone. Good luck on the pre-sale that's starting in 3 days, and you guys are definitely trying to get the vetted badge here. So we'll see. And thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Yep, have a good day.
Thanks, Boria.